Hey, Dave Knight here at 123daytrade.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Today was the last day of April, Monday, April 30th, 2018. Hope you had a better day than I did. I obviously learned some valuable lessons today. I will say this about the trading session. The market was trading in between S1, S2, S2, S3 when the session started off. There was a high red bar volume of 48.71 that came in at 1:59 a.m. And then we had a high blue bar volume at 7:32, and then we had a kind of a high red bar volume at 8 a.m. as well. So ideally, it might have put me maybe if I now let's think about today. Today was one of those days just got away from me. My original thought was F me day. Some of these days just going to happen. Now, would I have went long below the S1 line? Today, the market went down. The early morning low was, I believe, 67.22, and then we posted 67.17, I think. Yeah. So we went down 5 ticks lower in the morning session after the market opened up. Well, the market's always a 24/7 market, so I need to start getting I got to start getting used to the 24/7 market. That seems more times than not what's might be kicking me right now is that I'm looking at this market as it doesn't start till 8 a.m. CST, but really this market is 24/7 pretty much around the clock from Sunday evening to Friday afternoon. It takes a 15-minute break, I think, in the afternoon, or 45-minute break. I think it's 45-minute break, and then it starts right back up again. So I've got to, and that's time that I'm not allowed to trade anyway at Top Step Trader. You're not allowed to trade from was it 3:15 CST, or no, 3:10 CST to the Globex reopening again, which is 6 o'clock my time. I guess it's 5 o'clock on CST time. But that's not a time zone that I trade anyway. So the earliest that I would take on this market would be around 2 a.m. or so CST. That's about the earliest time that I would take it on. Now, if you looked at the 1:59 a.m. mark this morning, you know, it moved at 1:59 down. It looked like, honestly, it's just, it's one of those days that got away from me. I had my buy zones, I had my sell zones, but it's trying to infer what that market. I think that I still would have taken a short at the 71 mark if I could have only limited myself. My opening trade ended up, by the way, being +1. And when that market turned around right there, I think more times than not, my +1 days, when I end up starting the trading day off in the win column, they might turn into big losing trading days more times than not. And what I have to ask myself is why. And basically, why today was the market was going up, and I was thinking, no, the market is not as strong as I thought it was going to be. So I got caught trying to short a long market pretty much. But I think today would have been, no, actually, I know today would have been a losing day for me. Instead of 45 ticks, maybe if I could have kept that loss around or under 30 ticks today, that would have been a better approach for me. So if I'd have had 2 or 3 less trades today, I think that would have been the better way of going at it. Now, with that being said, um, the low posted from 22 to 15, and then we never looked back from that point. It went up, 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 and then it continued. It went up through S1, through pivot. It's traded through R1 so far, and it's month end. It was just one of those days that got away from me. It's Could I have traded it better? Certainly. If I would have had the balls to take on the long today, um, what would have been the earliest moment that I would have tried to take it on? Uh, well, I had the buy zone above 76, I believe, 73. I think it was above 73 was the buy zone. So 67, 73 and above was a buy area. I got to be able to trust the longs better, is what it ends up being. So I saw what I believed was in my sweet zone going down. Honestly, it's the same spot that I've been seeing. I want the market to get to is the 6666 level. I thought today we were going to go for it. And that more than anything else, I think, influenced me to stay short in a market that was moving up. And I don't know how better to handle that situation other than to really count on an area that I say that it's long above, that I don't short anymore above that area until it proves that it wants to get down below that. So the zone today, I believe, was 73 to 57. So long above 73, short below 57. Once it got up there into the dead zone, which I'm still learning how I want to approach the long signal. So I'm still going to give myself the benefit of the doubt that I could have had a minus 30 day. So I allowed myself to take about 15 ticks more loss than I should have today on a day that I didn't have the right plan coming into the trading session. So that's about it. It was a tough trading day for me. I really thought we were heading down. All indicators looked like we were going shorter and shorter, short or lower, shorter, going lower. And the market turned around. I'm glad I'm in the combine once again. I'm frustrated right now, beyond belief of what I'm seeing versus what's happening. To be lucky enough, I'm not lucky, to know what's going to happen on Friday. And I did like one of the shorts that I would have taken on around the 68.19 level. That it would only have been at best a break-even trade. It went down back to pivot. That right there was probably the best chance for the market to fall once it topped up there, and then obviously it moved higher, but it went up to about 68.20 something, and then it come back down to 68.19 when it brought you in. It went down to the pivot line. That would have been the area that if the market wanted to fall, that would have been the perfect time to short it. Every other time, maybe the only other time that I should have shorted was right below maybe that was a bad spot to be shorting, around the 71 mark. Now that I'm looking at it with a fresh set of eyes, I shorted at the 67.71. I had 4 trades around that area, which I accumulated about 30 ticks of my losses today. So that was where I lost my trading day. So I guess, in a long story short, if I was looking at this with a fresh set of eyes, me to trust the long is what I've got to be able to flip the switch. I don't know how I'm going to be able to flip the switch below the S1 line though. And below, it was trading pivot to S1 at that point where I would have had to take it on, and it shot up. So The only thing that I can tell you is that the highest red bar volume was 4,000 something. And if I just use highest volume bar to guide me, then I would have been long somewhere above that 2217 area and taken on. I mean, I'm comfortable taking on the shorts at the top sometimes, but taking on a long at the bottom, I know that's where the money is if you can catch it, but it's tough for me to see that the market's done going down sometimes. And that's where is I just know that the market can continue to move down, although today it proved that the market didn't want anything to do with the down once it opened up really. It went down briefly at the open outcry, open outcry open at the 8 o'clock mark. I think it posted its low around 10:15 a.m. Excuse me, 8:15 or so a.m. And it never looked back pretty much from that point forward once it started moving up. So my preliminary trade that I took on was a valid trade, which I took on the short to take on the lows. It came back and it took me out. And from that point forward, I started losing the trading day. So what am I happy with? I'm happy with my first trade. But outside of that, I mean, there's lots of work that I need to do. I mean, I just feel sometimes that no matter how much knowledge I got, the market still continues to teach me a new lesson each and every time. And this is a lot of understanding. I don't know. I mean, honest to God, it's a market that is on an uptrend, and I have a hard time seeing the uptrend, um, especially when I believe we got a down day. And honest, I mean, I can't. Some of these days, I've just got to throw it to the bird and say, you know what, the bird's got it. And if I'm wrong, to be able to walk away at -20, -30, as opposed to -45. If I could ever get to that point in my trading where I can physically walk away when I'm down like 30 ticks and I've already figured out that, hey, this isn't going my way, and there's not really a good reason to be trading in a market that's a strong the other direction. So basically, I guess what I need to tell myself, it's okay to be wrong when you're wrong in your thinking, and allow yourself to be wrong and walk away at a less of a loss like I did on Thursday. So I was proud of myself and how I walked away that day. The day I let the market dictate my losing. I let those four trades. I mean, where I lost the trading day, I'm gonna tell you where I lost the trading day was taking on the market. I I had a zone, a buying zone above 73, and I was shorting below that mark at 71. So I had entries at 71, I had a 68, I had 64. I think I had another 71 in there, and each one of those cost me a certain amount of money inside that. So that's where I accumulated um, pretty much, I would think, around 30 ticks of loss inside that area right there, maybe even more before it pulled out of that zone. So if I wanted to take on that zone, maybe only one trade in there and then looking the other direction. I just got to go back to the drawing board sometimes and say, all right, this didn't work. You know, I know that in the market's coming down, making lower highs. I like that. The market kind of bottomed coming into the trading day, but it made a new low. That new low is what tricked me. And once again, we went from 67.22 to 67.17. We made physically a new low by 5 ticks. And that right there tricked me as far as I thought that we were going to come back down. We'd come up and then we'd come back down. So if I'm going to be a short trader coming into it, I got to pick my spots better. So if I'm going to lose a day, let's see if I can lose around 25 to 30 ticks instead of 45. That's kind of what my thought process is. So if I'm going to lose a day, which I'm going to, let's see if we can lower that loss at least $100 instead of 45, 35. Anything's better than being above 40. So quitting at 35 minus, 30 minus, 25 minus, any of those are better than taking a 45 tick hit. That's it. That's all I have for today. I mean, it's just one of those days that I can sit back and say I would have been long. It's very hard for me to say I'd be long when I see the market below S2 when we started trading day. And I just don't see how I would have, with the knowledge that I have, why I would trade. I would just won't trade, then try to catch a falling knife at what I perceive as a false low. Just the way I'm going to be. It's going to be some of these days that I'm going to lose. And if I'm going to lose them, let's lose smaller. That's it. Dave Knight here from 123daytrade.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. See you in the next video. Bye now.